Well, welcome back, everyone. Today's project. So, if you saw my shooting video the other day, I have a little AR that's an SBR, and SBR stands for short barreled rifle. It's actually a tax stamped rifle from the federal government, which means I can run less than a 16-inch barrel. What I actually run is this little 10-inch barrel here. This gun is pretty much made up of junk parts. I have a buddy that is an FFL builder. Anyway, he gets all kinds of weird stuff, and so most of the stuff was just all kind of garbage that he had laying around. I take it, like this barrel used to be a 16-inch. I cut it down to 10 inches. Got a buddy that has a machine shop. We went over there, used his lathe, cut it down to 10 inches. The end of the threads were all screwed up from somebody over tightening a muzzle brake on it. So anyway, I got all my parts. If you look right here, I ran them through the ultrasonic tank today. If you see a little bit of residue, the way that I like to do stuff is I'll run them through my ultrasonic tank to clean them all up, and then I will dump them in a vat of warm ATF, and then that ATF then soaks oil back everywhere through it, and yeah, and it's ready to go. So anyway, I didn't pull everything completely apart, but I did pull it down quite a bit just to clean it up. Hopefully it'll run a little bit better. The end of the handguard here, I painted the end of it. In fact, you can see my run of paint over there. It was, I chopped it off with a bandsaw. I mean, it was, yeah, I just custom made my length. And then the upper receiver right here, when I put it in the ultrasonic tank, the old brown paint that I used on it, it melted all the way off. So I just hit it with a little of bit of the old Rust-Oleum black paint, and we'll get it put back together. If you've been, let's see if I can stand this up a little bit here. There we go. If you've been, oop, too far. If you've been watching the news lately, stuff's going on in the Middle East. I hate to say it, but I honestly believe that there's terror cells in this country. So having my rifle, this rifle put back together and ready to use. I live in a small town. I mean, I'm not paranoid, but you know, I'm also a guy that carries a spare tire because you never know when you're gonna need it. It's better to need it, not have it. So the lower, I got cleaned up already. I didn't ultrasonic it. I just went ahead and blew it out, wiped out all parts to it, all that kind of stuff. And anyway, so we'll get this removed. We'll put the whole upper back together. You can watch me do that, and then we'll slap the rifle back together. All right, so got some parts here. So obviously this is a barrel. We'll get that out of the way. This is a piece of M-lock that goes underneath the handguard. We don't need that. What we're looking for here is the bolt parts. This is the gas block and gas tube assembly where the gas comes down the barrel this way and forces the bolt back. Here's the bolt. Here's the gas key. That's where the tube, when it's closed in, goes in there like that, and then back and forth. So this is the bolt carrier, all cleaned up. Here's the actual bolt itself. Here's the firing pin. Here is the little keyed keeper. I don't know what the name of that thing is. I'm trying to actually look through the video instead of my hands, and so I don't have any depth perception. Anyway, there's that guy. And then right here, lastly, is a little cotter pin. And that little cotter pin keeps it all together. So to put this together, first thing we're going to do is I got a little pick. So on the back of this right here, if you can see these, where's the opening? See the openings right there? Those are little gas rings. It's like piston seals in your car. So there's 3 of them, and 2 of them were right there together. So if they were spaced 100% the same way, or where the gaps were in the same spots, basically, then that would allow gas to go past it and that seal very well. So what we want to do is we want to try to stagger them 1/3, 1/3, 1/3. And guess which old man forgot his glasses? So we got one down here, and right there. If we move this one, maybe. Try to hold these other ones while I move it around here. Okay, so we got one there, one there, one there. Maybe we'll move this one just a little bit further. Okay, so now they're spaced around pretty good. So if you look at the front of this bolt face, this is the extractor claw right here. You want to make sure that it is going out this side of the rifle. So, and the hole obviously is for that pin. So what we want to do is we want to slide that in like so. And you see down there in that hole, you can see the pin body there. Next thing you do is you're going to drop in your firing pin. That's the front of the firing pin. Where my hand is, that's where the hammer is going to strike it. So you drop that down on the body. Oops, I screwed up already. Next thing we got to do is we got to put in this pin, the keeper. See that hole? The firing pin goes through it. So we'll put that in like so. It's got to go in like that. Then you got to turn it 90 degrees so it gets underneath the gas key. So we can bring it up to the front. Turn it 90 degrees like that. Now we can drop in our filing pin. And if we push the bolt back, see the end of the firing pin there show up and disappear. Okay. And then lastly, what we want to do is we want to put this keeper back in and make sure that it sits flush. Sometimes it's kind of a pain in the butt. If you look down through this part, sometimes you have to use your little pick and shove the ends of that key in there to get it to go. Sometimes it's just a little twist, who knows. Sometimes it's all kinds of things. It's not going in. Get in your hole. Oh, there we go. I had it cocked. Okay, so now the whole bolt is together. Rides back and forth. Firing pins and these are free floating. So bolts all ready to go back in the upper receiver. But I just checked it. It's a little tacky. So that'll be a tomorrow project. We'll let it sit and dry overnight. You can tell I got the heater going on in the back there. You can probably hear it. So anyway, that's about all we can get done for right now. And we'll wait till tomorrow. All right, the paint's dry now on the upper receiver that I was working on the other day. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and get this all put together, show you how to do that, and we'll put this rifle back together. So put the barrel nut on here to protect the threads. Get my little block and we'll get it put together. All right, so we got the upper setup with this little block and the vise here. First thing we need to put in is put the barrel back in. There's a little tip up here at the top. It still has some lube on it from when I soaked it in the ATF. So that guy slides on like that. Next thing is the barrel nut. And I want to put a little lube on this aluminum. What am I going to use? Okay, I'm going to use this. Got a bottle of ATF right here. I'm just going to put a little bit. Just going to put a little bit on the threads. There. Now I've got a mess. All right. I wonder if you can see me and this stuff at the same time. If I put you back over here. Let's see. Down the bench. How does that look? Yeah. That should work. Okay. So, got a little thread on there, got a little lube on the threads. Barrel nut's the next thing to go on. Got to tighten our vise here. Okay. So there's like anything, there's a recommended torque on this. I don't even know what it is off the top of my head. I put together several of these rifles. I'm gonna just do it tight. One thing about this one that you'll notice, and I'll show you when I go to put on the handguard, but the handguard has holes in the side of it, and you want to make sure that when you tighten up the nut, that the rail aligns with the holes. So we'll see how that goes. I think that got her. Let's see. Perfect. Okay, so I got that all tightened up. So we're going to take it out of this. We're going to stand it up like so. Okay, next thing that goes on is the gas tube. Oop. Guess I should put my pins in that so I don't fall out. Where they at? There. All right, so we need to tighten up the Allens on the gas block. Now, what I like to do for that is actually put the bolt back in before I tighten it and make sure that the gas key, that the tube's going down there so it doesn't hit. So pull this block off real quick. We'll put our bolt in. So we'll put our charging handle in first. Put our bolt on. So we're locked in place now. And now we'll just kind of let that find its home, which it did. Now we can put our tighten up those Allen screws. All right, so we got our bolt in, got our gas tube, kind of find the center of it. And we just need to tighten up those guys for the gas block. Okay, so the gas block's good and tight. Next thing that goes on is the handguard. All right, and we need to put the screws in for the handguard. Which is these guys. Be very careful when you do this stuff. All this is made out of Chinesium, and it's really easy to get things cross-threaded, not put away the right way, and are not installed correctly, and strip stuff out. So we'll put them in, get them all just kind of loose in there, That way if we need to spin the handguard around just a little bit, we can do that. All right, I got all the bolts started. I can snug them all up. All right, we got the hand guard all on. Next, I'm going to put on this little piece of M-Lock rail. Oh, down one. Then the Ford Assist. Let's put it on the right way. Probably doesn't matter, but there we go. The Ford handle goes on. Okay, that's on. Then the handle slides down on it. Like so. Until we find a bolt hole that it goes through. Like that. Then I drop the nut out. Alright, need a screwdriver. Okay, so our upper's all done except for I need to put the sight back on. So I think to do that, what I'm going to do is I'll go ahead and put it on the lower receiver, and then that way I make sure that my eye relief is correct. So we'll put this other block in here. Grab our lower receiver. Take our upper. Looks like a sexy little rifle, doesn't it? Okay, and then last time I had this, it was just like that, 2 spaces away. Run down our hold down plate here. One click of the wrist. All right, let's see, I normally run my stock right up there. Flip the cap up. Checking my eye relief, so the distance between my eye and the scope body and where my face is in relationship to the rest of the rifle. I think I want to go back one hole. This other piece on here is for a brass catcher, so it slides on the side of this like so, catches the brass. So I need enough room between the tang of this and the scope body, but it looks like I can pretty easy go back one hole. Setting up your rifle, especially with the great thing is with an adjustable stock, is it I like to set it up where kind of in the middle of all of this throw, and then that way, depending on what I'm wearing, I can change the stock depth. So what I mean by that is, imagine you have on a heavy winter parka, right? So where the shoulder of your coat is a lot thicker, you have the ability then to suck the stock in a couple inches. So it puts your eye right in the same spot. If you didn't have an adjustable stock, you'd have to try to pull it into your shoulder or crane your neck forward more or whatever. So when you're setting it up, run it that way. I also noticed that, like, if you're laying down in the prone position, the stock isn't in your shoulder because you're not laying like this. Now you're laying like this. Sometimes you'll need it longer. So this kind of gives you the ability to change back and forth a little bit. See if I put it, yeah, so see if I put it right there, that brass catcher's not gonna work. So we need to go right here. I think, oop. There we go, so it's locked in. Things to take into consideration when you're setting all this stuff up. Don't be afraid to change it. If you don't like it, all just bolts together. Okay, so check it again. Oh yeah, that's better. It's amazing what that one little piece of rail, one little distance makes. So, there it is. It's all put back together. Did a little bit of repainting and got all the carbon dug out of it. Should work just fine now.